With version 1.4, there is some pretty big changes made to the Decibel system in Zenless Zone Zero. One of the biggest changes is that you can now use ults on all your squad members, since they have changed it so that our characters each has their own decibel meter individually, whereas previously it was shared among the characters, so we had to choose with which character to ult with. I have done a lot of tests on the creator's beta server to see what's different with this new system, and there is quite a lot of things worth mentioning. But before I go into them, please be aware that this is the creator's beta server, so everything is subject to change and nothing you see in this video is final. First, they have updated the UI now so that we can see our character's ults over here on the top. And once the character's ult is ready, you will see a star to indicate that you can use that character's ult when you swap to them. Now let's talk about the main rule for getting decibels with these new changes. The first thing that's important to know is that your on-field character will get 100% decibel charge, which is how it usually worked before with all your squad members, but they have made some changes here. The new rule now is that any off-field squad member will only get 50% decibel charge of what the on-field squad member gains. This means if I use Anby's basic attack, which in this case gave us 4 decibels, my other two characters will only get half of it, which is 2. I have tested this with all the different attacks that gives decibels, and this rule for off-field characters never changes and it always stays at 50% decibel charge gain. When you look at the in-game guide about the decibels and ult system, it mentions that there are 3 decibel ratings called Uproar, Blasting and Maximum, which you will see on the left when you have reached 1000, 2000 and 3000 decibels. At first I thought this changes something, but it seems to be purely cosmetic, with no changes to the amount of decibel gains for on and off-field characters. Even when your on-field character is at max ult, off-field squad members still only gains 50%, so there really doesn't seem to be any exceptions from the tests I did. There is also another major change made to the amount of decibels we gained before and after version 1.4. This one's pretty huge and you probably won't know this one unless someone tells you about it. They have changed the amount of decibel charge we gain from triggering anomalies and disorders. Now before version 1.4, we used to gain 170 decibel charge for triggering an anomaly like burn or assault, and we also used to gain 85 decibel charge for triggering disorder. With the new changes, it gets a little bit more in-depth, but not too complicated at all. They have changed it now where normal enemies will give you only 35 decibels for triggering an anomaly and 15 for triggering disorder. They have also changed it so that elite enemies gives you 125 decibels for triggering anomalies and 65 for disorder. Interesting enough though, for boss enemies this is left unchanged at 170 decibels for anomaly and 85 for disorders. So in short, normal and elite enemies gives less decibels from triggering anomalies and disorders now, but the rest has been left untouched like assist attacks, which is where we mostly get our decibels from anyways. Now this might sound a bit rough in places like Shield Defense for characters like Ju Yin that is highly dependent on her ult, but there is also some pretty nice buffs in this patch to make up for this. In Shield Defense and also some other places like another new endgame mode called Deadly Assault, all 3 your characters starts out with 1000 decibel charge each. This is new and this definitely helps for the changes we see in version 1.4 to anomaly and disorder decibel charges. Another thing that changed with the new decibel system is that usually when you used an ultimate, you would gain 3 assist points immediately, but this got reduced to only 1 point per ultimate now, which makes sense since we have 3 ults now in total. However, there are some exceptions here. Ben and Seth, which are both A ranks from the Defender's role, will remain unaffected by this change and you will still gain 3 assist points from their ultimates. Weirdly enough, when I tested this on the creator's beta test server, they actually gave me 4 assist points, which is probably a bug I presume, and we will have to test it on the main server. Now while this is great news for defenders if you need a lot of assist points against certain enemies, there is one thing that I really don't understand. What about Caesar, which is supposed to be one of the strongest defenders in the game right now? She is surprisingly given only 1 assist point on her ultimate, which I do hope they just forgot about her and give her 3 assist points too, because she is an S rank, which would make sense if she also get this huge advantage as a defender. They have also changed how some buffs works that usually gave more decibel gains in places like Hollow Zero. Usually these Resonia buffs in Hollow Zero gave decibel charge for your whole squad, but now it will only apply to one squad member instead. If we take the A rank shock to Resonia Tesla Spear as an example, every time a character shocks an enemy, you will gain 5% decibel charge with a 10-second cooldown. After the changes to the Decibel system, you will only gain this 5% decibel charge on the character that triggered the shock. The same thing applies to W-Engines giving more decibel charge, like the A-rank W-Engine Slice of Time. When you trigger Slice of Time's effect which generates more decibel charge, you will only gain these decibels on the user using the corresponding skill. So in other words, if you have this W-Engine equipped on Rina and you use an X special attack on another character, the character that used the X special attack will gain the extra decibels. I think that's fine, and this W-Engine is still great for support characters to help out your other squad members. Let me know what you think about all these changes in the comments down below, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out!